Hello yet again, and welcome to the next deck profile. Yes, this boy knows other decks than Chronicle. For example, some tier 1 meta decks at the moment. Tachikaze Standard. This deck will probably see a lot of play in the upcoming Worlds, which will happen this weekend if I'm not mistaken. So let's get right to it. For our Grid Zeros, we play Run Dragon Egg, so it's just the generic V starter. For our triggers, we have 4 heal triggers, obviously. We have 4 crits, and the rest of our triggers are draws. Because this deck doesn't need crits if it hits like a truck 6 times a turn, but it wants to draw all of its pieces pretty fast, only plays 4 grade 3s, so 8 draws. 6 draws and 6 crits is also an option. Or grade 1s. This is where the most variety in the build is, like variety, because it's just a few cards difference. 2 Sonic Nova, if it's boosted, it gives the boosted unit an equip god, and if it hits an attack or attack it boosted, you can retire something and draw a card like Megarex does. Pretty nice on first stride and behind a sweeper. Then 2 Savage Trooper gets plus 5k for every equip gauge it has, always. So in your turn and in your opponent's turn, do not forget that it's pretty strong. But it can be retired, it can be bound, it can be bounced, everything. So be careful. Next up are 4 Lace Tracks. This card does give us a lot of hand, because when it's placed, it gives itself an equip gauge. And when it dies by retiring, so if you call over it, or if it just dies because someone attacked into it, not if it's bound by Narukami, then it doesn't work, then you can pay soul and get its equip gauge. So pretty nice, just put it there in the early game if you know it can't be bound. Even then, just do it, just hit face with this deck. That's the whole game plan. Then we play 4 Zandilofo. So this is kind of a knee-main of this deck. If you rest it, you can give something an equip gauge, or you can move all the equip gauge of one unit to another unit. And if that unit that received equip gauges, you can pay counterblast with plus 5. So pretty nice. Put it in early game, just charge up your stuff, and then just put it as equip gauge itself. And for the final 4 cards are Barrier. Oh my god, these names. 4. So when you place them, you pay a soul and give something an equip gauge, and then it gets plus 5k for every equip gauge it has at that moment until end of turn. So it can make non-Savage Troopers or Sweepers into pretty big hitters for at least a turn. And then it can stay behind Vanguard, so it can hit big numbers. So yeah, really, really nice. Grade 2s, we play 1 Bomb Raptor. His effect is a once per turn. When something is retired by one of your effects, you can put the top card as an equip gauge as this unit, and it gets plus 5 for every equip gauge it has at that moment. So since this is a once per turn, you don't have to do it on the first retire. You can first charge it up and then trigger it to get it big. Some people play 2 or 3. 1, 2, 3, all is fine. It's not the most important piece, but it's nice. Then the important pieces we are talking about. 4 to Smilodon. When it's placed on Vanguard or Ragged Circle, or when it attacks the Vanguard, it gives something an equip gauge. So really, really good in the early game. Really good on your grade 3 ride. On your grade 2 ride, devastating if you have Sweeper. So a really nice card, and it's totally free. Then we play 4 Megarex, another card that can trigger Laser-Rex. So when it's on Vanguard or Rearguard and it attacks Vanguard, you can retire one of your units and then draw a card. And if this unit is on the Rearguard circle, you can also pay a Counterblast to give it an equip gauge, and plus 5k for every equip gauge until end of that battle, not until end of turn. Common misconception. So yeah, pretty nice if you don't have anything else in the late game. Can get super big, but you need the Counterblast and you need to have the units, but it restores hand, which is really good. This is your main grade 2 ride. And now, the best card in the deck, Sweeper Boy. His effect is when he attacks the Vanguard, he can give himself an equip gauge, and his counter effect is he gets plus 5k for every equip gauge he has, always, or again in your opponent's turn as well. And it can't be chosen by your opponent's card abilities the moment it has 3 or more equip gauges. So that means on grade 2, if you have him on rearguard, you can call this, give him an equip gauge, attack, give him an equip gauge. He attacks himself, he gets an equip gauge. He has 3 equip gauges now and is basically invincible. 23 4k, which can't be targeted, is really nice. Narukami can deal with this. Hyuga Murakuma can deal with this because they don't target with their bind effects with specific units. Apart from that, it just stays there the moment you have it. So really, really strong. And now, the thing that makes this whole deck kinda tier 1, not kinda, it's tier 1, that makes the whole deck tier 1, Anger Blader, the guy who looks like he's just stepped on a Lego. Yeah, kinda. His act effect is, on Vanguard, you can choose a rearguard you control and equip it as an equip gauge for one of the other units. And then you choose an opponent's rearguard and retire it. This is not once per turn. Every card in your hand is an equip gauge if you wanted to. That's why I play 8 draws. That means every card in my hand is a plus 5k for one of my units on the field. Very strong. Second effect, when it attacks, you pay counterblast and choose up to 3 of your rearguards that have at least 3 equip gauges, stand all of them, and your whole front row gets plus 5k. So the 5k is not bound to 3 units, just everything. So he himself also gets plus 5k. And then you just stand for Bermuda numbers, attack really big. This deck can kill while your opponent is on grade 2. The only downside in this deck is you need Anger Blader. That's why you only play 4, because the moment you ride into something that's not Anger Blader, your win condition suffers a ton. So yeah, that's why it's for Anger Blader. And that's basically the whole deck. It's an Excel deck, like you can see. Most of the time you take Excel 2. If you're feeling lucky, you can take Excel 1 if your opponent is still on grade 2 and try to kill them there, because that's an extra 10k because the unit on it can restand. But most of the time you take Excel 2 because you want him to even draw into even more pieces. And as I said, each card in your hand is basically a plus 5k because it's an equip gauge. So you always want this. If it so happens that you have this in hand, you play against a clan that can retire and you can't get it on 3 equip gauges when you call it on turn 2, consider not calling it, because if this dies, your killing turn is a lot weaker. Okay, that's basically it. That's Tachikaze for you. One of the best contenders to get a Worlds title. We'll see. And I'll see you next time. Have fun watching Worlds. Bye.